All right, boys, how you going?
Excellent.
Richard Martinesi from Wiseberry Five Dock and David Cradock, the cyclist from Wiseberry Enmore.
Yep, fresh from 50
the
kilometres.
reason I'm talking about it, yes, you just rode 50 Ks.
This morning, that's correct, yeah.
And you're just fresh. I just walked for about 20 minutes and I'm perspiring.
I walked to my
Something's
car.
wrong. How's the market? How did you go? I mean, we're now coming up to mid-November. How did you go with all your auctions? Last time we spoke, you were pushing them back?
Yeah, the two large ones, the Camperdown Terraces and the Surrey Hills.
Yes.
They got pushed back. They went up to auction on the 4th of November.
Yep.
Absolute cracking auction.
Yep.
We had, there were both the two properties, went on the same day. I think we had about 17 registered bidders all up.
Oh, geez.
Surrey Hills were put up first. Very strong bidding on those. Started about, I think it's about 14 or 15 mil.
Yes.
Increments up, there were quite a few bidders, involved. I think at the 18.5 mark, after that bid, it was down to two parties, and then they battled it out, and we ended up knocking it down for $20.4 million.
Wow.
20.
What a result.
Which was probably $5 million over reserve.
Well done.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it was,
So what do you attribute to that? And why would people go $5 million over? I mean, is it a knockdown? It's not a knockdown.
No. The purchasers, their plan is to subdivide them into 10 individual lots, and then they'll be putting DAs to refurbish. The houses have a very deep yard, which is rather extraordinary for the inner city areas, plus rear lane access. And the plan is to extend the house itself back and refurbish it and everything, make it more generous living rooms and extra bathrooms, that sort of thing.
Yes.
And with the zoning requirements there, you can build a garage right on the back boundary and put a little studio loft type thing above it.
Yes.
And that's their grand plan. So I think initially they're just going to keep them leased out for the next 12 months or so while they get through the subdivision process and then start the DA process. And then they'll start on the building. That's their plan, yeah.
And then what we're selling for then? 4 mil each or what?
Not about 4. They'd have to be. There's a couple of sales I've seen around the area. Some well renovated big places over 3.5, 3.7 million. So certainly in excess of 3 million is even in this current market is definitely achievable. Yeah. So,
Should have called on my friend Darren Butcher and
Great
do something then.
And
So what about the next one? What about the other one?
Camperdown, that went well too. We were expecting between 8 and 9 for that, and that ended up going for 9.7. And again, the purchasers there, a similar thing. They'll be subdividing, holding it for the short to medium term, subdividing, and doing some renovations, refurb them to either sell some off and up the rents and keep some. But I think part of the attraction was that it's so rare for something like that to come on the market. Over the years, when they were initially built, all those terraces were on one title, and over the years, most of them have been subdivided and sold off individually, and we still manage a couple, but not, I think, and the clients that we do manage for, they've already started the subdivision process, so that if you do want to offload them in the future, you can do individually, and obviously, you obtain a better price that way. But I think it was just the fact that it's such a rare opportunity. Yeah, so a very successful auction. Well, we had a few other just single places. Couple sold before auction. We had one last weekend. We passed in. We're negotiating with a couple of buyers on that at the moment. So overall, the market seems strong. We're still getting huge inquiry levels, but what I'm seeing is that when it come auction day, the number of interested people, it's only 2s and 3s. We're not getting 5 or 6 interested parties. So
Yeah, but that's enough for
it's
someone
enough.
to buy,
But I'm
isn't
just
it?
saying,
I mean, you only need one.
Ultimately you only need one. But for a healthy auction, like when you've got 17 registered bidders and you've got 5 or 6 people in the mix, obviously it makes for a much more lively and exciting auction than when you only got one. When you're down to 1 or 2, you're usually trying to extract bids out of them, and it's occasionally they'll go off. I've had auctions in the past. We've had been into the apartment or whatever, there's the auctioneer and 2 bidders, and I had one I think within 5 minutes it was over. They just went bang, 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 bang. Yep, over reserved, done, finished. But usually when you only have 2 bidders, sometimes it can be a fairly protracted process just trying to get bids, because they're sitting there wanting to see the other person what they're going to do, and
That's right.
and it can bog it down.
Yeah. That's amazing results. So now there's going to be something like 20 or 30 resales for you, no?
Oh, hopefully down the track one day. It certainly won't be in the short term. No, and I think they'll probably be hanging on to them for quite a bit from what I gather, conversations I've had with both buyers. And I had the interesting thing was with the Surrey Hills one, the underbidder walked into my office a couple of days later. He said, "David, I've still got $20 million to spend. Find me something."
Yeah, so, that's the amazing thing. I mean, mate, you've got like Mr. Baby Honest. You're the baby honest tattooed on your forehead. I mean, who can't trust you? And anyone would trust you. You know, it would surprise me that the buyer, the underbidder would walk and do that, which is fantastic for you. And because I've seen you over the years, we've known each other for quite a while now. You're just more than a real estate agent. You're just like that brother, that family team member that they have. You know, I talk a lot about, sometimes people have got a real estate agent they use. But then when they go beyond it, they have what we call like a family doctor, like the family accountant. You're the family agent there, mate. You know, there's something about you and that aura. Anyone should trust you. Landlord to buyers to tenant to sellers. It's just amazing result.
Yeah, well, it's just a matter, you develop these relationships with your clients over the years, and you don't bullshit people and tell them the truth and give them good, honest advice. I mean, that's.
Did you travel between those auctions on bike or not?
No,
did you get on your bicycle?
No. No, we had them in auction rooms in the city, so it was.
Because I know you take advantage of anything just to do a bit of exercise. So
it probably would be quicker on the bike, particularly on when you're doing open homes on a Saturday. I mean, the inner west traffic. I mean, it's like that in North Sydney. Traffic is diabolical on Saturday. So sometimes I think, hey, I should be on my bike.
So anybody who's got something like 10 million and plus, please give David Cradock a call. Yeah. He's got someone who's going to spend 20 million on the 10 million thing that you have. Yeah,
well, if they've got 10 or so, 10 or more terraces to offload, I've got the buyers. Yeah.
So how about this sales market otherwise? Beside it, how is it going?
Yeah, well, like I said before, we're still getting good inquiry levels. Yeah. Commitments seem to be not as a lot of people just seem to be, I don't know whether they're just shopping around, window shopping, getting a feel for the market, but it's just we're not getting. Come auction day, it's down to 2s and 3s. We've got, and even then, some of them are a bit cautious. We had one at Dulwich Hill the other week. We sold that pre-auction. We had a fantastic offer put on the table, signed contract, 66W, everything. So I said to the vendor, let's take it, because the other two buyers we had on it were a bit, they're whistling about this, a bit lukewarm sort of thing. Yeah. So
How about the market in Five Dock, Richard?
Yeah, I think the rush to buy before Christmas is tougher than usual, obviously, because of the demand with buyers. There's little to choose from compared to last year because of the low stock levels.
Yep.
And I think a lot of buyers are thinking, with the media hype saying the market's going to drop, all that kind of stuff, they realise it's not. So they're kind of rushing in to buy. So we're finding that it's pretty strong in our market. We do obviously a wide range of areas as well. So we're finding the lower end is moving quite quickly compared to the top end at $2 million. But everything's getting a lot of traction, which is great.
Okay. Any good story from Five Dock?
We've had one, I don't want to jinx it too much, it's under a cool off at the moment, but listen, we stuck with the owners for a long time. I think it'd been 7 months on the market. It was priced right in the beginning. They got a good offer. Yep. The usual thing, they didn't take it, was the first offer. And we're trying to chase that price the whole way through. So we finally took a deposit last week on it. And they were very grateful. And he said to me, I thank you so much. We've been hard throughout the whole process. I'm glad you really stuck with us and got us what we needed to get. So we'll, it's what we do. Even if it takes, a day, a week, a month, or 8 months, we're with our clients all the way.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I think you've got to do that. It's so many people, like if you're going through the auction process, they think, if it doesn't sell on the day, it's a failure. But it's really about finding out what the market is prepared to pay.
That's correct.
And sometimes it's under expectations. And I usually find if you keep, as you said, stick with it for another week or two afterwards, you can usually get somewhere, if not where they want to be, somewhere much closer.
That's right. Because there's always a buyer out there that's willing to pay the price. Yeah. And it might be just that time for them that they've just sold something, that they need something, they see this on the market, and they come along and we marry the two up.
That's right, yeah. They might have been on the market a week ago, but a week later they're ready to go.
That's
They've
right.
just sold or whatever it might be.
Correct.
Finance just approved, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you're the first people I'm going to ask this question to. 2 days ago, the new budget, New South Wales budget, talked about replacing the stamp duty with land tax on new purchase. What do you guys think about it, and how is that going to impact this market?
It's quite interesting. I heard that bandied about before, but I think to start with, the stamp duty is a massive imposition upfront cost for people to pay. You know, you're paying 30, 40, 50, 60. When those Surrey Hills sales, I think it was close to about $1 million, but and it's certainly an imposition. I think it's something that affects people's ability to purchase. I mean, it's all relative. Most people are borrowing, you know, it's maximum 80, 85, 90% or whatever. And you've got to turn around and fork out another, even on an $800,000 unit, you're paying about $30,000 stamp duty. So it's you know, significant. And it'd be interesting to see how they implement it. Investors are already paying a lot of land tax as it is. Whether I don't know how they'll do it as far as apportioning it out, or I mean, what happens if you say, well, I'm going to pay it off by instalments or whatever, then you sell the place after 2 years, do you have to pay the balance then? I mean, there's a lot of detail which we you know, we don't know.
Yet. Yeah, but I think they're going to do like a smaller, like a property tax over the years.
Yeah.
Is it over the years or is it forever?
Well,
it's an annual property tax.
Yes, but that annual
tax,
stays from then on. So this is the thing. You own a property, David, and you own one, Richard. You sell yours.
Yeah.
And to me, and I decided, I'm going to take on that land tax. So I'm going to pay it on a yearly basis. Now the following year, I'm selling my house, or I'm getting my house value, and Richard, he hasn't sold.
Yeah.
So mine now is going to be on that land tax forever, because once you've done it, you're in the game. He's not. Does it affect the value of my house? And I mean, if I was to sell it straight away, I'm only paying a small portion of the land tax, right? Well, I've done 1 year. Do I have to pay the full lot when I resell it?
That's the detail we don't know, because if Richard would put his house in the market, then that would be liable for land tax anyway. But to your question is as to whether you've got to pay what you owe, or it's just something that hangs onto the house. Because if I bought a house, say now, and then they introduce it, and I've got to pay, you know, $50,000, $60,000 upfront stamp duty, and then they introduce it in a month's time, and then you've got to pay, you know, $1,000 a year or whatever it might be. I don't know. Yeah. It's, you know, it's a bit of an imposition, but and I could turn around and sell my house in, you know, like recently and paid 60 grand stamp duty. I turn around and sell it next year, and then purchase from then on in will pay the annual tax.
Yes.
So
he doesn't have to if he pays the stamp duty.
Correct. And I think that's what.
So I haven't got the full details.
And so this is the thing. So this is the thing. Like in 5 years, your house has got now that annual tax.
Yeah.
But in 5 years, Richard's house hasn't got it.
Yeah.
Right. So is there something like $50,000 or $60,000 plus value in his house when you put it on the market versus yours?
Yeah, well, it's going to be, because from the person who hasn't paid all their tax is going to be, that's still a liability.
Yeah.
So
we don't know these kind of things, all right?
I think they'll maybe put on it, you know, if you sell your property within a certain time, the land tax is due and payable. You know, if it's, say, 5 years, annual tax of 5 years, because the median price from Sydney is $1 million. So you're talking $50,000 in stamp duty, for example. You know, they might say over the 5 years you have to pay it all back. If not, it's due and payable if you sell. So I think they'll do something like that, not carry it on for forever, and then pass it on to the next person.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, like most government announcements like that, they're big on the good news, but
that's right.
Very short on the detail.
It's like when they brought out that the renovation, you know, the $250,000 you have to spend. They'll give you $50,000 back, all that kind of stuff, but they didn't say you had to spend $250,000
to get it
in renovations. So they said, we're going to give $50,000 to people that are going to renovate their homes. But didn't say the finer details.
So the question is then, does it stop a lot of people from jumping into the transaction or into the property market now, waiting for these things to be a bit clearer?
I suspect it's going to be a long time coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because they talked about this last year as well, I think.
Yeah. I don't, look, if you're going to hold off, you'd be could be dead before they
Yeah.
introduced it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not saying there's no timeline on it that I can see. It's been.
So buyers who are holding off buying, that's their loss.
I wouldn't be
You
doing that. No,
yeah.
you've got to
Okay.
get on with your life. You could be waiting forever.
Great story. So what about the rental market? How's it going?
That's you again, David.
I was online the other day. I thought I had to look at something from the REI. I looked at the vacancy rates in a city, going up from 5.5 to 5.8%.
Okay.
Shocking. Yeah.
So you're finding it more difficult for the
We've
moment?
got stuff vacant. We're chipping away at them. And I had a client ring me yesterday. He said, "It's getting near the end of the year. Put it on the ad. Height. 1 month's rent free." Okay. So we've done that on other places. 2 weeks rent free with reduced rents, and people will look at it and they said, "Oh well, they don't want to negotiate even more." I said, "Come on, give me a break." And we said, "Well, if you go any lower with your rent, you're not getting the rent free and stuff like that." But it's just to get. I think that the problem is, of the people that are looking, there is just so much to choose from.
Yeah.
And the landlords have to do something like that just to make their property stand out from the. As I said, I think last month, you can certain suburbs you can go in and you can pick up, 150, 200, 300 apartments in that particular suburb for lease. So, and there might be, I don't know how many people, judging by the number of inquiries that we're getting, there might only be, say, 30 people out there looking for a 2-bedroom apartment, and they've got, 300 to choose from. So the odds aren't good for the landlord in getting a tenant.
So thank God for these guys, the mortgage rate's gone down.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, does it affect their sale value? Because the rent returns lower?
It affects rent returns, but particularly if you're selling into an investor.
Yep.
So residential can be a bit, I guess, insulated from that because you've got a lot of home buyers, so the investment return isn't that important. But it is, I suppose, there's a bit of importance because the banks usually ask, well, what can I rent for? If things go bad. But it's certainly pushing returns down because at the moment we're seeing prices. I suppose apartment prices are sort of flatlining, but with the rents coming down, that's obviously diminishing the returns. And that's something that I see may affect the market. I think if we keep this COVID under control and the universities, everything go back to face-to-face teaching their first semester next year, I think we'll start to see it. I mean, it's not going to recover overnight, but we'll start to see it slowly come good. But until, because around our area and in eastern suburbs, you've got New South Wales Uni, we've got Sydney Uni just up the road, UTS and everything. So there's a lot of students that have just disappeared. And I think once we go back to face-to-face, it'll start coming in, and also the international students, because there's a lot of international students who are renting too, and they're being barred at the moment. So until both of those things, happen, we get back to face-to-face, I think it's still going to be soft for a while,
Yeah. Here's the thing. You, not very far, this is why we do podcasts with the two of you together, and you're in full recruiting mode.
Yes.
Richard. Why is that? What's happening?
Well, I think we're getting busier,
Right.
so we need to obviously recruit to get more things done, to get more properties on the market, obviously, because it is low on stock, and what is going out is going to other agents and some for us, and we want more of the pie. So we are recruiting to try and get our work level up, so we can obviously get that as well.
Do you notice that the quality also of people who are looking for jobs are actually much higher caliber now?
They are, definitely.
Yeah, I think that last week you and I, we did an interview of a young lawyer, a graduate, 1 year in law, right? And it's just amazing. I'm doing it for other offices. We have people who've been running, managing flight centers for 15 years, and now they're doing this. We've got people who've been in finance for 30 years wanting to now be in real estate. So I'm sure the two of you are really looking for more people to join you, correct?
More people, yeah.
So anyone who's listening to this and you know someone wanting to have a new career, might as well just get them to David Cradock in Enmore, Wiseberry, or Richard Martinesi in Wiseberry Five Dock. Can you just tell us a bit of a story about any success?
I think I've had about 100 applications
Yes.
so far.
Wow.
We've employed one person already, young girl starting a traineeship.
Yeah.
Because there is good incentives as well from the government, obviously offering the traineeships and apprenticeships.
Yeah.
So we've employed someone there, and obviously the girl that's coming in on Friday to see us. Hopefully, all goes well, we can recruit her as well.
What are you seeing now different from these people to maybe pre-COVID when you were recruiting?
you know, a lot of the people are not. Some of them are unemployed, obviously through COVID, they've lost their jobs and you know they're unemployed and looking for work. But I'm finding the quality of people that they've been in jobs for a long time as well and wanted to change.
Yes.
They've been in banking, you know, lawyers, all that kind of stuff, accounting, and they're just kind of tired of it. You know, the same mundane thing, doing it every day. So they want to get out there and explore different things.
Yeah. What about you, Dave?
I've got to work on my recruiting. I've been busy in other things, and I've just let it.
You're selfish, but you want to do everything by yourself.
Yeah. I was having to think about that last night. I thought, no, I've got to relent. It's just killing me. Yeah. So I need certainly.
Well,
some
maybe Richard can pass on a few good people because he's still got quite a few.
Send them over.
There's lots.
Yeah, I'm seeing like great quality of people. I mean, what about the tenants that you have around you? I mean, I'm sure that many of these guys would want to make a jump into real estate.
There's an idea, yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, I'm just thinking like, I know you have a large rent roll. Maybe you should really get those guys to have a look into a different career. I mean, especially we're coming to the end of the year. This is the time for New Year resolution now, which we know 90-something% goes off afterwards, 92%. But before that, we've got the 100% commitment.
And diminish after Christmas.
So what's new in your area? Any good restaurant? Anything new? Anything worth sharing? Anyone that you've met lately and worth sharing on this podcast?
Well, restaurant-wise, it's been pretty quiet because of COVID. Everyone's been in survival mode.
Yeah.
I guess there's nothing new opening up. Although actually interesting enough.
Really? Man, over here it's so hard to just find a spot.
Really?
Oh yeah, no,
unless
it's
you
the same.
book,
But
you don't have.
for the existing ones, it's like that. Yeah. It's tight. You've got a book and everything like that. But from a point of view of new things opening up, it's still soft. But I was having a chat with Emmanuel, my commercial manager, property manager, and he was saying he's just noticed too in the last few weeks more inquiries. But he said it from quality operators or established operators rather than people. Oh, let's try opening a cafe sort of thing.
Right.
People don't know what they're doing, so
Yes.
that's sort of setting out a good sign that it should be picking up. So, yeah.
What else you want to share with us this
I think there's a lot
podcast?
going on in Five Dock as well.
Yeah.
A lot of new developments going up, which is good. And the biggest thing for Five Dock is the light rail coming in 2024. We've never had a train station there at all, so it's going to be huge for the area.
Yeah, well, that whole
Would they know what it
sector
is?
I don't think so. A lot of the older couples won't. A lot of the old Italian people, they kind of walk out of their home to walk to the shops and they don't go anywhere else. But I think it's going to be very good for the area.
Yeah, I think it will, because the whole sector through this, there's nothing like public transport, your buses, and
We've
that's
only
about
got
it.
Burwood, Strathwood's the closest.
Yeah.
You got the light rail over Haberfield Way, but I think the light rail. Sorry,
Leichhardt, back of Leichhardt.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But I think the metro is going to do wonders.
So where's it going to take you?
Basically, I think the light rail starts at Westmead and it takes you through Parramatta. There's going to be a stop at Burwood Concord on Parramatta Road there, one in Five Dock. I think the tram sheds, it's going to be there.
And
then straight to
yeah.
Oh my goodness!
very quick.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll open it up a lot.
Very quick
A big
to get to the
plus,
city.
yeah.
Well, so the people who want to buy now, they're doing the right thing. It's going to just skyrocket after that.
Definitely.
Well, one thing I've found with some buyers who are at a place at Roselle at the moment, they're all, because the government is so busy digging tunnels under the city, they're all scared about buying a house that's going to be on top of a tunnel.
Yeah.
They think their house might fall into the tunnel during the excavations. I don't know, but
It's a long way down.
yeah, I've had a couple of people, waving. They were coming around with their maps. Is that under a tunnel? Is that over a tunnel? No.
Yeah, that did happen when they did the M2 with one of the properties at the entrance of the M2 around Beecroft, Epping area.
Epping, there was a block of units here starting to move.
Something just happened there, and I mean nothing really major, but it did
but
move, and that was enough for them to
Yeah.
just reinforce the entire tunnel.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think they've learned from that. There's no problem now. I mean, I'd be more worried about building a house under the harbour bridge in the tunnel. That would worry me a bit more. Okay. But what else could we share this time? Or is that it? Any good news?
Any good news? Well, I've had my good news for the month. I've just got a few more auctions to clear this next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and obviously neither of you changing your prognostic for December. It's going to be flying the same way as it is right now, right?
Yeah, it's still. I can't see.
I mean,
any
people who
changes.
want to sell the other side of the year, should they put their stock, the property on now or next year?
I'd still say, do it now.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some uncertainty. You don't know what's going to happen next year. And the market's strong now, so get it on the
There
market
is,
now.
yeah, there is that.
But I do have a few listings coming on in January that obviously they're not ready to put on the market now. There's 4 listings coming on in January,
Yes.
Which I've tried to get on now, obviously to maximise their return. But they've decided, we'll wait. We're not ready yet. We've got to do a few final touches on the home.
Yeah.
But I think if you are selling, the best time is now.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much, boys.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Will
Have a good
do.
one.
See
Bye-bye.
ya.
Catch up.